Dr. P.R. Jayashree, Assistant Professor, Department of Statistics, Presidency College, Chennai. P.R. Jayashree has done her PhD from Anna University and MBA from Alagappa University. She passed joint CSIR, UGC, National Level Test for JRF and Eligibility Test for Lectureship in Mathematical Sciences. Has also done her postgraduate diploma in Computer Management. She has 17 years of experience in teaching and published 14 research papers in international and national level. Has presented, participated and organized conferences, workshops on SPSS and Torah software. She is a life member of Tamil Nadu Statistical Association and Indian Society for Probability and Statistics. At present, she is guiding 2 research students of Madras University.
Welcome to UGC lecture series on mathematical sciences. In this discussion, we are going to see some parts of correlation coefficients. So, in my previous lectures, we have seen about the Cole-Pearson's correlation coefficient, and today we are going to discuss about the rank correlation coefficient, partial and multiple correlation coefficients. So, in this lecture, we are going to see what we mean by correlation, types of correlation, what is a rank correlation, partial and multiple correlation, and related to all these correlation we are going to see some illustrations and I will give you an assignment. So, what is a correlation? So, correlation is nothing but a relationship between 2 variables. So, if you are dealing with any correlation coefficient, we need a bivariate data, that is we are going to see whether there is any relation between those 2 variables or not. So, we have already seen this one, and there are certain types of correlation and the methods of finding this correlation. So, types of correlation are nothing but positive and negative correlation. So, if you have both your x and y variables are in the positive direction, we call that is if one variable increases, the other variable also increases, we call that as a positive, otherwise it is a negative correlation. Similarly, you can have a linear and non-linear correlation. And the methods of finding this correlation are the scatter diagram, Cole-Pearson's coefficient of correlation and the Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. So, what is this scatter diagram is, if you want to draw the bivariate data in a graph, we call that as a scatter diagram. So, you have a xy diagram here and then we plot the xy graph and then we are going to see whether there is any relationship between those 2 variables. And the other method is the Cole-Pearson's coefficient of correlation. This is covariance of xy divided by square root of the variance of x and variance of y. And the Spearman's correlation is, the difference between Cole-Pearson's and the Spearman's correlation is, if you are dealing with a variable we have the Cole-Pearson's, whereas if you are dealing with an attribute type of data or a qualitative type of data, then we have a Spearman's rank correlation. So, as I told you, the correlation is the degree of relationship between any 2 variable or a bivariate data. So, the measure of any correlation we call as the correlation coefficient. And the degree of relationship always lies between -1 and +1. So, if you are calculating any correlation coefficient for a bivariate data, then the resultant value will be from -1 to +1. So, if you have 0.8 means there is 80% correlation between the bivariate data. So, the relationship or the measure for finding the correlation coefficient always lies between -1 and +1. So, if you have a -1, that means it is a negative correlation, that is if there is an increase in y and there is a decrease in x, then we call that as a negative correlation. And if you have +1, it is both the x and y variable goes in the same direction. And if you have equal to 1, that is 0.99 or something like that, the correlation coefficient, that means that is a perfect correlation between those 2 variables. So, the direction of change is always indicated by this plus sign or the minus sign. The correlation analysis enables us to find the degree of a relationship between the two variables under study. So, it is a statistical tool which helps us to analyze the relationship between two variables. So, if you have a bivariate data, if you want to know whether there is any association those two variables, then we have this correlation and it deals with the association. So, why we have a relationship and association is if you have dealing with the variable type of nature, then we have the relationship between two variables, and if you are going to deal with a qualitative type of data, that is your rank correlation, if you are going to find whether there is any association between those two variables or not. So, as I told you, there are two types under this. One is the correlation with positive and the negative correlation. So, positive means both your x and y variables travel in the same direction. If one variable is traveling in one direction and the other variable is traveling the other direction, we call that as a negative correlation. So, for example, here the sales and the demand are in the positive correlation. Height and weight. Height and weight is both, if your height increases, your weight also will increase, therefore, that is a positive correlation. If your x variable increases and your y variable decreases, then we call that as a negative correlation. So, I have given you an example here. Expenditure and sales, height and weight are the positive correlation, whereas in your negative correlation, price and the quantity demanded. So, if your quantity demanded increases, your price will go down. So, as I told you, the methods, these three are methods. The difference also I told you, it is nothing but a diagram here. It is only the representation of my x and y. Here you cannot find how much the correlation coefficient exists between those two variables. By pictorial graph, we can see whether there is any relation or not. Whereas in your Call-Pearson's or in your Spearman's rank correlation coefficient, you can exactly measure how much is the correlation between those two variables. So, in this lecture, we are going to see what is this rank correlation. So, the purpose of finding the rank correlation is if you have a qualitative type of data or a characteristic type of data, then we have this rank correlation. So, if you have two variables which are of a qualitative type of nature, something like your honesty or intelligence. So, if you want to measure these honesty or your intelligence or your IQs, what you have to do is you have to measure indirectly. You cannot measure it directly as you have for a variables, and what you need to do is you have to find the scores. Find the scores or the test marks for these characteristics, and you have a bivariate data for these qualitative type, and you want to find out whether there is any correlation or relationship between those two characteristics. So, it is calculated to find the relationship between two variables. Here the variables is nothing but your characteristics or your qualitative type of nature. So, what we need to do is we have to rank the values. So, if you have your test scores or you have a test marks, then what you need to do is you have to rank it accordingly for each set of data. Since I told you, if you are dealing with a correlation, you will have a bivariate data, two variables will be there, and you need to rank the variables, that is your x variable and the y variables, either in ascending or descending order of magnitude, and we are going to find the correlation between those two. So, that is by the name rank correlation. So, sometimes these values may be repeated. For example, two students might have got the same mark or two scores will be the same. In that case, we need to find the average of their ranks, and we have to find the repeated values. You have to find the repeated ranks, and the ranks will be the average of those ranks. For example, if my ranks 5th and 6th are the same, that means students 6 and 7 score the same mark. Then what you have to do is you have to rank it as 7 and 8, find the average of those ranks and place it according to those students. So, the rank of x I have mentioned as Rx, and the rank for y as Ry, and the difference between the ranks will be my D, that is my Rx minus Ry. So, you need to rank your observations, then find the difference between the ranks. So, let M1, M2 denotes the repeated ranks, and I have to find this extra value if I have a repeated ranks in my observation. So, what I need to do is I have to mention the number of times that rank has been repeated. So, if for example, if one rank has been repeated twice, then my M1 will be 2, and the other rank is repeated thrice, that means my M2 will be 3. So, you have to mention your M1, M2, and you have to calculate this sum also. Sum is nothing but summation of m into m squared minus 1 by 12, and this m will vary for each of these repeated ranks. So as I told you, if m1 is equal to 2, place it here, 2 into 2 square minus 1 minus 2 divided by 12. M2 is the repeated rank will be 3 here. So that means a rank has been repeated thrice. So m2 into, that is 3 into 3 square minus 3 divided by 12. So you have to find the sum if you have a repeated ranks, and you have to add this sum in my formula for my rank correlation. And the rank correlation here is 1 minus 6 summation d squared by n into n squared minus 1, and n is the number of paired observation here, and d is nothing but my difference between the two ranks. And if you see here, this formula is only for no repeated ranks. So I don't have any repeated ranks, therefore I need to find 1 minus of this term. It is not 1 minus this, the whole thing, it is 1 minus of 6 summation d squared by n into n squared minus 1, and n is nothing but number of paired observations. So if my ranks are repeated, I told you, you need to add this additional term for my rank correlation, and you have summation d squared for not repeated rank. So add this summation d square plus m into, so how many ever you have your repeated ranks, that much m into m squared minus 1 by 12 you need to calculate, and then place it here, add the sum of all those, find all these values, then divided by n into n squared minus 1, then multiply it by 6, and then you have your 1 minus of this term. So if you see here, even your correlation coefficient, rank correlation coefficient will lie between minus 1 and plus 1. So we will see an illustration for this. To find the rank correlation between age group X and the number of diabetic patients. So I have given you the age group and the number of diabetics. So I want to find whether those two are related or not, and if you see here, both these things are qualitative in nature. So these are my X and Y observations. What I have done is, I have ranked it accordingly. So if you see first ranks, that is I have ranked it in ascending order, that is 72.5 as the first rank, and the second rank will be my 67.5, 62.5, then my 57, then accordingly I have ranked it here. So I have ranked it accordingly. But when you see on your Y observation, you can see your repeated values here. So 18 has been repeated twice, and these are nothing but 4th and the 5th value. So what you need to do is, you have to find the average of these two ranks, that is 4 plus 5 by 2, which comes to be 4.5. So place it here according to that 18 score as 4.5 as the rank. So here the m is how many times it has been repeated, it has been repeated twice, therefore my m1 will be 2 here. So and then you carry out the other rank. So we have finished the 4th and the 5th rank, therefore my next rank will be the 6th rank, therefore I have placed it here. So similarly you find your ranks for both the observations, and then find the difference between those two ranks, and here the difference of ranks, and the difference of ranks is 0 to 2.5. So you find your differences between these two ranks, and then square your differences, and these are my squares. Then what I have to do is, I have to find the sum of my d square. So sum of my d square I have to find, and then I have to find the repeated ranks also. So find all these things, and then multiply that with my 6. So if I sum it, I have got it to be 114.5 divided by the overall value, that is 720, that is your n into n squared minus 1. N is the number of observations here. So how many observations I have here? I have 9 into 9 squared minus 1, and that comes to be 720 here. So 1 minus 6 times of this one will give me this one, and if you see here, the correlation coefficient is 0.046, that is very less correlated. Something like 5% correlation is there between those two, that is your age group and the diabetic patient. So if you see my variables, it is the age group and the number of diabetic patients. So there is a very meager relationship between those two attributes. So next comes my partial correlation. So when you need to find your partial or a multiple correlation is, if you have more than two variables, and if I want to find the correlation between those more than two variables. So for example, here I have 3 variables x, y and z. So what I have to do is, I have to find the correlation between x and y, and then keeping the other variables as fixed. So that is why I call this as a partial correlation. So it measures the correlation between x and y controlling z. That means I have to keep my other variable as fixed value. So the 0 order means it's only the ordinary correlation, as we have seen for Coll-Pearson's and the Spearman's-Lang correlation. It is of 0 order. That means I have only two variables, a bivariate value, and I need to find the correlation between those two variables. Correlation of first order means you have three variables, and we are going to see the correlation between any two variables, keeping the other one as the fixed. So if you see here, this is my notation for my partial correlation coefficient, and r, small r generally we denote it for the correlation coefficient. R xy means you have only two variables, but in my partial correlation I have three variables here, x, y and z, and I have to denote it as r of xy dot z. That means what? I am going to find the correlation between two variables x and y, keeping the z as fixed. Similarly, I can find r z dot y and r zx dot y, r z zx, and then I have the other one also. So you can also have all combinations of the two variables, keeping the third one as fixed. So the formula finding the partial correlation coefficient is, if I have r of yx dot z, that means I am going to find the correlation between x and y, keeping my third variable as fixed. So the formula for this one is r yx minus r yz into r xz divided by square root of 1 minus r squared yz into square root of 1 minus rz xz. So these are nothing but the correlation coefficient. These are nothing but your Coll-Pearson's correlation coefficient between a bivariate variable of 0 order. So what you have to do is, you have to find the correlation between the variables, taking two variables into consideration. So take all the combination of two variables into consideration and find the correlations of all this, and then place it here, so that I get my partial correlation coefficient value here. So we will see an example. The table gives the values of the variables of x, y and z. Find the partial correlation coefficient y and z, keeping x as fixed. So that means I am going to find the correlation coefficient between y and z, keeping x as fixed. So that it is not that we are going to delete this one x and then we are going to find the correlation between y and z. We are keeping it as a fixed, but we are going to find the correlation between all these variables. So you see here, these are my series and this is my x, y and z variables. So how to find the partial correlation for this? So as I told you, so this is my formula for r y x dot z. As I told you, you have to find the correlation between y x, that is, take two variables into consideration, find all possible correlation coefficient taking two variables into consideration. That means r y x minus r y z into r x z, square root of 1 minus r y z squared, the square root of r x z. So I have found taking two variables into consideration the Coll-Pearson's values, and I have placed it here, and r y x has found out to be 0.5 and this is minus 0.3. This is a negative correlation. This is also x z is also a negative correlation. That means my x values, as my x values increases, my y value decreases, or my y value increases, z value decreases. So that is why I got it to be a negatively correlated one, and I place it all my Coll-Pearson correlation in my formula, and I need to find this r y x dot z. So if you see here, you have to place it all my values here, and I got it to be 0.36 divided by square root of 0.9 into square root of 0.78. So I have found the square root values, and if I calculate this, and if you see here, this is nothing but your some similar to your covariance term, and this is square root of the variance term. So if you see here, my r y x dot z will be 0.36 by 0.84, and the partial correlation or x y dot z, that means keeping my z value as fixed, my correlation coefficient of all these three variables comes to be 0.43. That means there is a very high correlation between x and y, keeping as my z as a constant. So 40% correlation is there between these variables. So next we will deal about the multiple correlation coefficients. So what is the difference between partial correlation and the multiple correlation is, multiple correlation we have so many independent variables and a dependent variable. So what we need to do is we are going to find whether this dependent variable with all the independent variables correlated or not. Whereas in my partial correlation, what we have done is we have considered all the 3 variables into consideration, and we have kept one variable as fixed, and we have found the relation between other 2 variables. So similarly, you can find the partial correlation for all the 3 variables, keeping one of the variable as fixed. Whereas in the multiple correlation is very helpful in dealing with the multiple regression equations. So multiple correlation will tell us whether the independent variable and a dependent variable are correlated or not. So the effects of all independent variables on a dependent variable. So that means we are going to find whether there is any correlation between the independent variables and a dependent variable. So you can see an example here, the correlation coefficient between the yield of paddy, that is my x1, and the other variables, seedlings. So if you see, the yield of paddy depends on so many other factors, something like your seedlings, manure, rainfall, humidity, etc. And these are all very important factor for the yield of the paddy. So this is an independent variable and these are my dependent variables. So the correlation between the yield and the other factors for this yield, and these are independent variables and this is my dependent variable. So whether those 2 are correlated or not. So I always denote the multiple correlation as capital R square, and this R value, this multiple R value is very much helpful in dealing with the multiple regression equations. So I denote it as 1.2345. So and 1 is nothing but my x1, that is my yield of the paddy, whether there is any correlation between 1 and the other values. The other values are seedlings, rainfall, that I denoted as 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. So this coefficient always lie between 0 and 1, whereas my partial correlation, if you see your rank correlation or your partial correlation or your Colp-Pearson's, it lies between -1 and +1, whereas my coefficient for multiple correlation always lies between 0 and 1. So the sample multiple correlation coefficient capital R is a measure which measures the association between an explanatory variable and the prediction variable. So explanatory here is an independent variable and the dependent variable. As I told you, it always lies between 0 and 1 when compared to the partial correlation, which always lies between -1 to +1. Here it always lies between 0 and 1. So if my multiple correlation R is closer to 1, that means there is a very high relation between that dependent variable and the independent variables. So if it is equal to 0, that means there is no association between the dependent variable and the independent variable. So if you have equal to 0, you cannot have a linear regression equation for a multiple regression. So you need to check this correlation value, this R value, if you are dealing with a multiple regression equation. So if it is closer to 1, that means there is relationship between the dependent and the independent variables. So how to find this multiple correlation coefficient? So to start with, we will take 3 variables into consideration, x, y and z, and we define how to find the multiple correlation coefficient for this. So if you see here, this is capital R z dot x y, as I told you, whereas in your partial correlation we have small r 1 2 dot 3. That means a relation between 1 and 2, keeping the other one as constant. Whereas in a multiple correlation you have capital R z dot x y. That means we are going to find the correlation between the z value with the independent variables x and y. So how to find this is, you have small r, that is the Colp-Pearson's correlation coefficient, you need to find r squared into xz plus r squared into yz minus, you have to find all the combinations of the Colp-Pearson's correlation coefficient taking 2 variables into consideration, that is rxz, ryz and rxy divided by square root of 1 minus r squared into rxy. So you need to take a square because the r squared values, this partial means this value. So if I want the r value, that is multiple correlation, you need to take the square root of this. So we will see an example. A person recorded the outside temperature, the time spent for mowing the grass and the water consumption. So there are three variables into consideration, and I want to find the multiple correlation capital R if the amount of water consumed. So, we have two independent variables and one dependent variable. So, water consumed is my dependent variable. I have two independent variables as temperature and the time spent. So, as I told you, you need to find the correlation coefficient for all the variables, all three variables into consideration, taking two variables and find the Coll-Pearson's correlation. So, that means we have to take two independent variables, take all the combination of the variables, that is xz, yz and xy, find the Coll-Pearson's correlation coefficient, and then you need to place it in your formula Rz dot xy. So, as I told you, I have already found it by using the Coll-Pearson's formula, that is covariance of xy divided by square root of sigma x and sigma y. That is you need to find the correlation of xy, correlation of xz and correlation of yz using Coll-Pearson's. So, I have found out to be 0.15, 0.96 and 0.10. So, what you have to do? You have to replace all your R squared, that is your Coll-Pearson's values here, and then that is R x z square plus R, we have already found all R x z, R y z and then R x y. So, place it here and then you find your R, capital R value, which comes to be 0.99. That means it is very closer to 1. That means this independent variables and the dependent variable, that they are highly correlated. So, you can see that the independent variable and the dependent variable. So, what is my independent variable here? It is a water consumed. So, water consumption depends on the temperature as well as the time spent on mowing the grass. So, both are very so both these variables and the independent variable water consumed are correlated here. So, this says the very high correlation because it is very near to 1. Therefore, this correlation says that there is a very high correlation between the independent and the dependent variables. So, what we have seen today is what do we mean by the correlation coefficient and what are the types under the correlation coefficient and when to use the non-correlation coefficient and the partial and the multiple correlation. These two are other two types of correlation coefficient, and some illustration regarding the partial and the multiple correlation. So, we have also seen when we have to use the partial and when we have to use the multiple correlation, and we have seen that the multiple correlation coefficient is very helpful in dealing with the multiple regression equations. So, I have given you an assignment in a trivariate distribution. So, when we are dealing with more than two variables, that means either you can use your multiple or your partial correlation coefficient. So, it is a trivariate, that means three variables are considered. I have given you directly the values of the Coll-Pearson values for all the three variables, that is R x z as 0.75, R y z as 0.63, R x y as 0.56. Actually, we need to find from the data. I have already given you directly this one. So, use the formula for finding the partial correlation coefficient for R x y dot z, R y z dot x and R z x dot y. You can also find the multiple correlation coefficient for all these three values, that is capital R x dot y z, R y dot x z and R z dot x y. Thank you.